The 7 great powers are supposed to be the strongest beings in Mushoku Tensei, so why is the most dangerous character in the entire series not one of them? To answer that, let's break down the 7 levels of world powers in Mushoku Tensei, starting with Level 1, the False Gods. Even the lowest level in this series is not made up of ordinary people, but warriors who are treated like gods. They aren't true gods, however, because their power is at a level that can be understood, trained for, and eventually surpassed. Take Galfarian, the Sword God, for example. The Sword God style focuses on overwhelming speed and decisive attacks with the goal of defeating an opponent before they can even react. Gal achieved the title through complete dedication to swordsmanship, pushing his speed and technique to the absolute limit. His sword strikes were so fast that even elite fighters would struggle to see them coming, making him seem almost supernatural to most warriors. On top of that, he was also trained in the Water God style up to Emperor, but despite all of this, Gal remains at level 1 because the title itself can be inherited by anyone strong enough. Gino Britz eventually proved this by defeating Gal and becoming the new Sword God. Reda Rhea, the Water God, is another perfect example. Unlike the Sword God style, which focuses on attacking first, the Water God style revolves around defense, counters, and reading an opponent's movements. Reda mastered the style so completely that she could intercept attacks from some of the strongest fighters in the world. During the Asura Kingdom conflict, she was able to hold off multiple powerful opponents at once and force even legendary warriors to approach her carefully. But like the Sword God title, the position of Water God can be passed on to someone stronger. Alexander Rybak, also known as Kalman III, belongs here as well due to his status as the current North God. The North God style is much less predictable than the other sword styles, focusing on adaptability, unconventional tactics, and using whatever advantages are available. On top of that, Alexander possesses powerful regenerative abilities thanks to being a descendant of a Tophet. But despite how monstrous he can seem in combat, he still has the weaknesses and ambitions of a human. His dream of becoming a legendary hero eventually leads him to challenge Orsted, believing that defeating the Dragon God would make his name famous across the world. Instead, he's completely outmatched and later ends up serving under Orsted. Randolph Marianne, the Death God, is arguably the most unique fighter in this level. While he was originally trained in the North God style and had potential to claim the title himself, his true strength comes from deception, stealth, and psychological warfare. His signature technique, the Sword of Bewitching, combines the Sword of Luring and Sword of Hesitation styles to manipulate an opponent's judgment by making them attack when they should defend, and defend when they should attack. But Randolph himself doesn't even enjoy fighting that much, and he'd rather live as a chef. Keep in mind, though, that these low-tier gods are only the first false ceiling of the verse. They may seem untouchable to ordinary people, but compared to the powers that exist higher up, they're still just warriors. And the deeper you go into Mushoku Tensei's lore, the stranger things become, as you'll see in Level 2, Spirit Class Entities. Spirit Class Entities at Level 2 have a unique status in the series. They're not gods, but they aren't exactly human, and their abilities cannot be replicated by normal people either. The best example of this level is the 11 ancient spirits that serve Perugius Dola, the Armored Dragon King. These spirits are permanently bound to him and reside within Chaos Breaker, acting as his guardians, attendants, scouts, and support specialists. Unlike normal warriors, they're not truly gone when defeated. As long as Perugius lives, they can be summoned again, making them a permanent part of his power. The most well-known of these spirits is Almanfi of the Bright, who serves as Perugius' scout and first responder. Almanfi has the ability to instantly travel anywhere light exists, making him one of the fastest beings in the series. This allows him to monitor threats, intercept intruders, and respond to danger almost immediately. He's also capable of holding his own in battle, having exchanged blows with Ghislaine de Doldia, a sword king. While he was ultimately defeated by the water god Reda Rhea, the fact that he could challenge fighters at that level already shows how powerful he is. The other ancient spirits each have their own specialized role. Yuruzu of Atonement acts as a healer and can transfer vitality between individuals. Sukiya Kodo of Time can stop time for anyone he's physically touching, although this also stops his own time. Clear Knight of Thunder serves as Chaos Breaker's surveillance system, allowing him to hear everything happening throughout the fortress and through special flutes given to Perugius' guests. Dotbath of Destruction can break magical contracts and bindings, while Karawante of Insight can assess a person's abilities and even diagnose illnesses or physical conditions. The remaining 6 spirits have had fewer of their abilities revealed, but even without knowing exactly what they can do, the fact that Perugius has kept them by his side since the Laplace War clearly means that they're powerful enough to remain part of Chaos Breaker's defenses for centuries. But they're no match for Level 3, Demon Gods and Fighting Gods. The Demon Gods and Fighting Gods have insane combat power combined with immortality, making them a big threat to the world if they ever go out of control. One of the most recognizable characters at this level is Bodigadi, the Immortal Demon King. On the surface, Bodigadi often comes across as a carefree and friendly giant who enjoys drinking, fighting, and causing trouble. However, behind that personality hides one of the oldest and most dangerous beings in the world. Thanks to his immortality, Bodigadi can survive injuries that would instantly kill almost anyone else and simply regenerate from them. And throughout history, he has been part of countless major conflicts and has fought some of the strongest warriors to ever exist. What truly places Bodigadi at this level is his connection to the fighting god armor, one of the most powerful artifacts in the series. During the ancient war against Laplace, he was the one who ultimately struck the decisive blow that split the original Laplace into 2 separate entities. He was only able to do this after he wore the fighting god armor to become the fighting god. Ironically, that victory created an even bigger problem for future generations because both halves survived. One of those halves is the demon god Laplace, another perfect example of this level. Laplace is one of the central figures in Mushoku Tensei's history. His name is attached to the Laplace War, one of the most devastating conflicts the world has ever seen. Entire generations grew up fearing him, and nations continue preparing for the possibility that he may reappear. Perugius himself has also built his fortress to prepare for the return of the demon god so he can reseal him. The thing about Laplace is that he was never originally meant to exist in his current form. After being split by Bodigadi, Demon Laplace inherited most of his original magical power and knowledge. However, However, he lost his dragon power and became unable to use his dragon battle aura, which is a form of mana manipulation taught by the first dragon god that allows its user to greatly boost their stats and harden their skin. But even without it, he was still strong enough to lead the demon race into war against humanity and overpower countless opponents. Even the heroes who eventually opposed him couldn't truly defeat him. They were forced to seal him away instead. But as terrifying as these demons are, the level 3 still aren't the strongest beings the series has to offer.